Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. My name's Richard. Today I get to drive a 1964 Buick Riviera. This is one of the better days working in the shop. This is actually one of my dream cars. I actually have one or four of these so that I have all the parts to build one. Maybe I'll actually get around to doing that this year. But 63, 64, and specifically the 65 Buick Rivieras are one of my personal favorite cars of the mid-60s. And today, our customer is going to have us install a new set of wheels and tires on this thing to really kind of change the look, the styling, and the handling of this car. So we actually had this thing in here last week, and one of the brand new wheels was damaged in the box. So the new wheel is in. We're going to mount the new tire on the new wheel, make sure they're perfect, and we're going to mount that set of wheels and tires on this car, give it a proper street alignment for radial tires. Then I get to go for a test drive. It's the best part of my day. If this is the kind of stuff you like to see, click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Only the white walls come wrapped like that. They do that to protect the white wall, because if this white wall sits against a piece of black rubber, the black rubber will transfer into the white wall and you will not get that out. Consequently, if you're laying your tires down while you're servicing your car, don't lay a tire where the black hits the white wall, because you won't get the black out of your white wall after that. Oh, see, this is why we read directions. The blue coating is water soluble and is easily removed with water only. Simply soak the tire with water. Do not spray with soap or cleaners before you remove the blue coating. Some cleaners react with the blue coating and make removal difficult. Water only to get the blue goo off your tire. I don't ever not have stuff.
Right. What about the force light?
Oh, we'll get there. I know you're excited.
I am.
I know you're excited to build a Subaru so that we can blow it up, because that's what Subarus do.
I am very excited about that.
Get under the shoulder. There we go. Like butter. We'll do it sooner or later. So we got our fourth rim. This one's not bent. We went ahead and did a road force on it. I've got 1 1/4 ounces on the inside position and a 3-pound road force. So that is an excellent rim and tire assembly. I'm going to go ahead and put my weights on, and then we will clean the blue off of the wheels, and then we'll get these bad boys mounted up on the car, and hopefully they fit, because these things are huge for this car. But I'm really looking forward to seeing them on there. Come on, zeros. Hey, I like it. That'll work. Alright, let's clean the Smurf goo off. So I already got that one cleaned off. It looks stellar. These are a Sumitomo HTR Z5 tire. And they have had the custom white walls vulcanized to the tire. It's a pretty cool setup. They mounted out great. This is an offset setup. He's got bigger tires for the rears than the fronts. And the guys we got the tires from were very specific about only using water to remove the Smurf goo off the white walls. So this is actually a drywall sponge, of all things. But I wet them down. Those look amazing. Now I'm going to make sure my hands are really clean while I handle these tires. If I have grease or dirt on my hands, it can transfer into the white wall. And I want to make sure these white walls stay bleached, and I don't want to contaminate them. I also, if I was doing a service on a car, I wouldn't want to have the white wall hit a black spot on a tire, like if you're resting the tires up somewhere. Because the rubber, the black in the rubber will actually transfer into the white wall and you will not get it out. So these guys are cleaned up. We're going to rinse them off with one more fresh batch of water. And then it's time to pull the car in and put these bad boys on that car. Well, there she is in all her glory, a 1964 Buick Riviera with a 425. Very sexy car. And I'm going to pull off the old wheels. Time to update the wheels and tires, redo the alignment, and keep moving forward. Looks like we got lucky on this car. Some of these older Buicks come with right-hand threads on the lug nuts on one side and left-hand threads on the other side. This one, luckily, we have right-hand threads all the way around, so we don't have to have special lug nuts. That makes my life a lot easier. Let's zip these guys off, shall we? Alright. So hopefully Mr. Customer ordered his wheels right, and this will go smoothly. I'm being optimistic. It's really hard to find the right wheel combination for Buick Rivieras. They have like a 3 3/8 inch hub diameter, which is really big. But let's see what happens. Off with the old and on with the new. No, they're not going to fit. So, this has a 45-degree recess on this outer diameter, and it's hitting the shoulder of the hub bore. So we need to figure out what we're going to do to resolve that. Get some grease and see if we can get some witnesses to see how much width we need. See what we can do to cheat it. That's a bummer. Nothing ever goes right. My fitment's pretty good. I'm going to sweep the tires side to side and check these front tires. See what kind of range of motion we have. I actually have a washer in between the wheel and the hub right now to get me off of the hub center. I've got a better solution for that, but right now, just to make sure everything works, I've just got it mocked up with some washers behind the wheel. I do not recommend doing that. And I hate it when I see cars with that on it, because the only thing holding the wheel really should be centered on that hub, because that's what carries the weight of your car. People do it all the time with non-hub centric stuff, but it's one of my pet peeves. That's going to contact the frame in the same place the old tires contacted the frame. Good clearance everywhere. So make some adjustments to our hub diameters to fit these wheels. We should be good to go. Let's see if the customer's ready to make that commitment, because it requires pulling off the front hubs, machining the hub centers down to fit the wheel, pulling the rear axles, machining the hub centers down to fit the wheel, and then they'll fit without spacers, without washers behind the wheels, without any real major trickery. You just unbolt your wheel up, unbolt it, bolt it back up. So let's see if he's game for that. I'm not gonna lie, they look good. Guess I need to put that hubcap on, huh? I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty dang good. Problem is, our hub centers are too big for the hub center of the wheels on both the front and the back. A little more so in the back than the front. So, as opposed to using shims to push the wheel out and reduce the amount of lug nut to lug nut stud contact, I'm going to make some modifications to the hub centers on the rear axle hubs and on the front drum hub. I think these will be the right solution, and it will work well, and we don't have to worry about extra parts. It will take a little bit of extra time. I don't know how much time it's going to take me to do this. And I haven't exactly decided on the best way to do it yet, but I'll figure that out. So while I'm working on the hub centers, I'm going to do a little work to his rear drums and his front drums, because those front drums being all dingy and gross looking like that makes me die a little bit inside, because they're actually a really beautiful aluminum front drum. So I'm going to media blast the front drums with walnut, and it won't be a bright finish, but it'll be a dull raw aluminum finish, and they will look really good. The rears I'll probably media blast and then just spray them black with black paint, and they'll look a lot better than what they do now. Well, I gotta get back to work. Let's get this thing racked up on a twin post, which is not fun to do on an X-frame, by the way. But let's get it on a rack so I can pull these wheels off, clean up the front hubs, clean up the front brake drums, repaint the rear drums, and make some modifications to the axle hubs. So I media blasted that drum. Turned out looking pretty good. Nice natural finish. We're just gonna leave it like that. Now I've already machined this drum hub down to fit our new wheel center, and I left enough of the old diameter so if we go back to the steel drums or the steel wheels, we can just bolt them right back on. I machined down the hub on the front hubs to clear the chamfer on the back side of the rims. I didn't machine it all off. I just machined off enough off of it to clear the wheel, and this way, if the owner decides to go back to the steel wheels, he's still got a shoulder here for the steel wheel to ride on, and that'll lock everything down in unison. I don't have to use any spacers. This will bolt up nice and flush. I can pull my lug nuts to torque, and everything will be good. So my front drums are media blasted with some fine walnut shell. It comes out with a pretty nice finish. I kind of dig that look. We're going to mount those up underneath these wheels in the front. And then in the back, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to cut down the hub flange so that it'll clear the wheels. And again, I'm just going to cut down enough so that the wheels will fit, leaving a little bit of a flange for the steel wheels if they decide to go back to that in the future. I'm going to paint the rear drums black when I'm done with all this. So it'll be raw aluminum drums in the front and black drums in the rear, underneath these nice shiny chrome 5-spoke American Racing rims, which should look pretty hot when we're done. So that, I've got one of my rear hubs ground down, which has been quite a challenge because the customer decided he does not want me to pull the axle shafts out, which would have been the easiest way to pull them out, truck them up in a lathe, trim them down to size, and then bada bing, move on in life. But he doesn't want me to pull his axle shafts out of the rear housing, so that's understandable. You know, you take something apart and you open a whole nother can of worms. So I'm doing it a little ghetto in the back, but the end result will work. The wheels will fit without spacers. We'll have plenty of lug nut to lug nut stud contact. We'll be ready to roll. Yeah, I think this wheel combo is going to look pretty good. I dig it. Of course, it's going to be up here when it's on the ground. It's coming along, looking good. I'm pretty happy with it. The center board does not fit on the hub of the axle. So one way to fix that would be to chuck the wheel up on a Bridgeport mill and fly cut the back side of the wheel so that it has the proper diameter that'll match the hub center. That would be by far the best way to do this. Unfortunately, I don't have a Bridgeport mill, and that's just not an option. So the second option, you can do wheel spacers to space the wheel out enough to get it where it needs to be. The problem with that is these lug studs are short, and any spacer we put in there reduces our lug nut to lug nut stud contact to a point that I'm not comfortable with. So then we would have to put new, longer wheel studs in it. So to not do that, we decided to basically machine down the flange, that is the hub center. I left enough of it to hold the drum, and I left enough of it to hold a factory steel wheel if he chooses to go back to his steel wheels. But I machined it down enough so that this wheel won't contact this. That way it will get full torque on your lug nuts without any gap between the drum and the wheel. That way we don't have vibrations or unwanted things happening like lug nut studs breaking. So that's how we overcame that problem. Another way we could have resolved that is we would have pulled the axle out of the axle tube, chucked it up in a lathe, and machined the outside diameter of this down to match the wheel. We would have left the step in it to center the drum because we want our drum centered, but we would have machined the rest of it to match the wheel. That wasn't an option because the customer didn't want me to pull the axles out of the housings because that could create other problems. it doesn't leak in right now. You open it up, you put it back together, and then it starts leaking, and then you're fighting a whole other problem. So I understand it. So we overcame it just by machining the end of the flange down. Not a big deal. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make it happen. Now, for all you guys who are going to say, oh, you just destroyed that guy's axles. Really not that big of a deal. In fact, if I did make a mistake and completely screw one of these up, I have like 4 more sets of them in the back. Just because I'm a Riviera nut. Maybe someday I'll get around to building my Riviera. I'm busy working on everybody else's cars. So, I'm going to turn this drum, put the shoes on this side. I put shoes on the other side already, and the other side's all done. So now we will turn this drum, assemble our brakes, and then it's ready to deliver to the customer. Although not without my test drive. So let's give this guy a clean cut. Got tons of meat in there, and we'll get our shoes done. That's a lot nicer. Look at that. Good stuff. Nice clean surface for our new drum brake shoes to ride on and seat into. So I thought you guys might want to see this Buick's undercarriage, because, you know, why not? I actually built the exhaust on this thing, I don't know, I think last summer, maybe the summer before. I don't really remember. We did a cross-flow muffler, dual exhaust, all the way down the X-frame. It was one of the more intricate exhausts I've had to build. Lots of unique bends and kicks. You can actually see this one over here. I didn't quite like it, so I opened it up and I basically cut it, put a spacer in, and then re-welded a piece in to get it where I wanted it to be. Just, you know, you want it to be in the right spot. You want it to be in the right spot, I guess. So I made that on our tube bender here at the shop. Took a couple of days to do it, but whatever. It's kind of an artistic thing to do, making the pipes fit the way they need to fit. White walls white. Get my greasy thumbprints off of them. So the wheels are all shined up, the white walls are brought back to life. After getting my greasy smudges all over them. I tried out this product here. I haven't bought this before. They actually sent me some of this stuff and told me to try it out, and I told them I'd give it a shot, give an honest review. Super clean, foaming, tough task cleaner degreaser. It worked really good for cleaning the grease off the white walls. I could actually see the dirt dissolving as soon as this stuff hit it. So pretty good stuff. I'll have to see what other uses I have for it. But cleaning white walls, definitely a thumbs up on this product. See what happens. See what other things I can find. So in all, I'm real happy with the final product here. The wheels and tires look phenomenal on this car. I've already done my alignment. I need to drive it down the road, make sure my steering wheel's straight, make sure I like the way it handles. I added some caster and put a little negative caster into it for modern tires and modern driving. It should handle really nice. It should be quite a comfortable car to drive. Basically, I'm going to run it up the road, do my test drive, bring it back. I'm going to retorque the lug nuts again, and then we'll call the customer up, tell him to come out and start enjoying his car. With that, I got to get this test drive done. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. You guys have a great day.